Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Like no other station in the world! I beat you. You were too slow, Pat. All right.
No, I'll be all right. Well, game on then. I
Game
guess
on.
game on.
Game
Because
on.
now you're
Bring
not.
it on. Bring it on.
Now the rest of the time you won't be able to
Is
scream.
Facebook Live on?
Oh yeah, it's on.
All right.
It's on like Donkey
Well,
Kong.
you're Donkey Kong? Now that's an old game.
It's
That's
an. Well, that was the.
What was that?
That was the phones that I was putting on for our guests, but I guess there's something going on in the background.
Anyway, you listen. What is that?
It's the phones.
Somebody's looking at me with food. Seriously.
Oh no, it must be
Look.
someone.
No, yeah, exactly.
It's.
Anyway.
Anyways.
You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show. Brien spelled with an E, ASKBRIEN. Each week, since 2017 January, although we did have a pilot in December, we interview a CEO, a startup, or teach somebody a business lesson. We're all about business on the Ask Brien radio show. And I'd have to go through this every time because not everybody has listened to the show, but not everyone understands why, or ask me the question, why are you spelling Brien with an E? Most people spell Brien, Y-A-N, I-A-N, but very few people spell it with an E-N. I don't know what you got going on over there. Some echo. Somebody has an echo. Maybe it's one of our guests.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. That's either Tracy or Sean. Anyway, we have... everybody asked me why we spell Brien with an E, and our engineer, because engineer starts with an E, is the one that gets to explain to everybody why Brien is spelled with an E, other than the fact that it was the only proper noun available when I was looking for a domain. What are the other reasons why?
You went technical on us. It doesn't start with an E. I just wanted to just say, but there's a couple of other words that the E also stands for in Ask Brien. A couple of words. It's like a theme for the show. Obviously, he took engineer, which happens to be my favorite one because I am the engineer. But there are others.
But we'll have to start spelling Brien I-A-N or A-I-N after we get artificial intelligence.
That'd be brain, by the way, if you did it with an A-I.
If we do it I-A-N, then we can say we're just spelling intelligence artificial backwards. And we'll still have Brien.
This is still true. But anyways, the other words we have, one of them happens to be excellence, because we all exude nothing but excellence here on the show. Another one happens to be experts, because everybody on the Ask Brien show happens to be experts in any type of field they happen to be in.
What are you an expert in?
Engineer.
Oh, my God.
Easy.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, indeed. Others, we have our, let's see, I got excellence, expert. Let's see, we have effort, because everybody gives 110% of the effort in everything they do here in Ask Brien.
Well, that's true.
This is true. I think two in particular happen to be...
Well, you missed a big one, though, before you get
What's
to
the big one?
Empathy.
Empathy. You know
we
what?
try to empathize for others, but
Yeah.
now, since you didn't say that,
I didn't.
I can become a narcissist and attack you the entire show.
I was going to say empathy, but I was on mute and I was screaming it and no one could hear me. And so
Tracy.
I was really embarrassed, but only by myself because no one else could hear me.
To be fair, Tracy, being the engineer who can actually, hear the sounds and whatnot, I didn't hear you at all, so this is true. No one heard you.
Well, then, no one... Then he didn't use 110% effort, and he's certainly not an expert, and he certainly...
I was an expert because I couldn't hear.
And he's not an excellent engineer, because an excellent engineer would not have had that happen.
It wasn't on my end.
Here's the real question. If someone screams empathy on mute and no one hears them, does that mean that they're still empathetic? I mean, really? 'Cause
I don't know, but I'm gonna try yelling fire in a theater, and we'll have me on mute.
Lord.
yeah, but then you'll get a whole other engineer involved in that situation.
Yes,
You probably won't like it.
yes, he will. Well, I mean,
So what are the others?
Well,
We got a show to do.
It'll
We have a guest waiting.
One happens to be excitement, and it's synonym of
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm! Woo, woo, woo! Go, go, go!
Got him.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God! I don't know why my engineer likes to scream like that. So we're gonna try to take it down a tone.
Yeah, because that's me.
Obviously. So my co-host Tracy. Tracy, you there?
Yes, Tracy Elizabeth, I am here.
Elizabeth, is that another E? Make sure
That's
next
another
week we
E.
Oh
got
my-
that
that is-
Elizabeth next week.
That's another E.
We got another E. Good. and
I didn't think we had
and
enough.
I think our guest has one or two vowels in his name with an E. Sean, are you there?
Absolutely, and yes, it is Sean with an E.
And then
For sure.
your last name has an E in it too, I believe. No.
Yeah, at least one actually. Yes, it is B-E. Correct.
Yeah. So
You didn't think you were coming on to Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune or what's the one that turns
Well, I
the
was-
tile?
It's called Wheel of Fortune.
I was hoping to get the opportunity to buy a vowel if I may. So yeah, can I still do that?
Well, yes, and then we're going to have another E when we ask the engineer when we get to start. So without any further ado, how do you spell it?
ADIEU.
And why do I like it?
Because all of the letters except for D are vowels.
Which was your grade point average. Sorry, D.
Oh my God.
3 point.
You're on a roll, Patty.
3.5.
I just want you to know that I just want you to know, Patty, I think you're smart. I think you're beautiful. I think
Aw.
you're kind.
Thank you, Tracy. And by the
I
way,
think
it was
you're exceptional.
His head, okay, and you know the big E is going to be so big. It's called the ego. I won't be able to get his head through the door.
By the way, Tracy. By the way, my GPA was a 3.5. Thank you very much.
A 3.5.
Not in the least surprised by that.
It was a 3.5 out of 20 on a scale of 0 to 20. But okay.
Just not kind.
Gosh.
Not kind, sir. Not kind.
All right, we have a very good guest, and we're trying to interview him, not Patrick. So
Yeah,
without
because
any further
this
ado, okay,
this
Sean.
guest has some pretty powerful stuff to say.
So Sean, before we get into what you're currently working on, I just want to get a little bit of background. And we're not talking about when you were 5 years old because we'd like to get the show done today. But so prior to starting your company, what were you involved in before you started your company? And we'll go right into what your company is and what it does, etc.
Yeah, sure. And I just wanted to comment. Obviously, like I did grow up in Australia, and at school we had this thing. It was called. You used to get an E, and you get an E for effort. That it was obviously not a grade you wanted because it was the one right below F. So. But we used to joke about it as kids, and yes. So, but from there, I spent about 12 years in top-tier U.S. software companies prior to starting GoSnow. So I was at Mercury Interactive, which was an amazing experience. That was a Silicon Valley software company that Hewlett-Packard, HP bought for $4.5 billion back in 2005. After that, I was at McAfee. I ran the channel sales for them across Northern Europe for about 4 years. It was another amazing experience. And then from there, I ended up at CA Technologies, which is another huge big enterprise software company. My role there, I was building new cloud services and taking them to market through our global partners, some of the biggest partnerships that CA had, and that was right at the brink of cloud computing. So, it was right in that transitionary period where these big enterprise software companies, had to take all their offerings from on-prem to cloud and adjust their business models for that as well. But it was a very exciting time to be in those companies.
And you were in the marketing department, or what department were you in at those companies?
Sales.
Sales. Okay.
Yes.
And
sales and business development.
Sales and business development. So you started how did you come up with the name of your company is GoSnow? Is that correct?
Correct.
And how did you come up with that name? And were you solo, or did you have partners when you started?
Right. So, GoSnow it's a bookings platform for the winter snow sports industry. And immediately before COVID, people had been using it to book lessons and buy lift passes at ski resorts, around the world, in Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. And we came up with the name GoSnow. To be honest, I was sitting around a table with my mom and a friend of mine, and we had just been going through name after name after name until we landed on GoSnow. We had, I'm going to say, 100 different names on the table, and part of that as well is looking at, what real estate was available from a trademark perspective, from a domain perspective, from a social media perspective, and all those types of things. And we were really lucky, very lucky to get our name. In fact, the trademark attorney that we hired to help us with that had found that someone else had the name registered, but they'd let their registration lapse. I think they'd let it lapse here in the States. So she helped us secure that, which was huge.
Absolutely. Although, just to let you know, because I am a trademark attorney as well, and one of the things you have to understand is that just because a mark isn't registered or loses its registration doesn't mean that they can't have what's called common law trademark rights, meaning that you can still have rights and still go after people even if it's not registered. You just don't have the same remedies. But I don't want to digress too far into that. So Go Snow, that's actually a very good name, because if you think about it, Go Snow, it's almost like go ski, go snowboard, go get a lesson for snowing. So yeah, it's a very good name, I think, for your product and your service. Now, so you came up with this name and the concept. How did you implement the concept? I mean, you had to obviously figure out a way to create some software, and then on top of that, figure out how to get some people involved so that you could actually have, it's always the chicken and egg thing, right? You need to get customers, right? But you can't have customers if you don't have any ski resorts lined up. And if you get the ski resorts lined up and you don't have anybody to come there, they're going to go like, well, what am I doing? So that's the other thing, is the chicken and egg thing. So I'd like to get into that. Which comes first, the customers or the ski resorts, etc.?
Absolutely, signing customers up comes first, and in our case, the customer actually is the ski resort. So we need both. We need resort partners, which we have, and then we also need consumers. So to be valuable to the resort partner, we've got to have the database of consumers who love to book, love to go skiing and snowboarding, and who love to book cool new experiences at the resorts that they travel to. And then we also need to have the resorts so the consumers can access those resorts through our platform and book those experiences.
So you started what year? 2016 or 17? What year?
We did get started in 2017.
17. And
yeah.
How many resorts and on that side of the equation, not customers, but on the resort side, and including lessons and everything else, how many do you have? What's your numbers there? Do you know?
Sure. Yes, we had been operating at about 12 resorts between Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, and mostly our resort partners were in Utah, in California, here in the U.S., as well as those we had in other countries as well.
And how many do you have currently?
We will be back at operation with about double that this winter.
So approximately 24. And then how many customers, consumers do you have? That
we've got an active database of about 18,000 of people that had previously booked. With us.
And your business model is it like it's not a subscription model, so you're collecting money from the ski resorts, correct? Or are you collecting any money from the consumer side?
We are. The model we have is a commission on successful bookings. So we have agreements in place with our partners, and then we're making the commission on every successful booking.
And I'm not sure if I'm not mistaken, but I thought you were funded by some company. I read something about an article. Is that correct, or?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one of our favorite partners is here in Santa Monica, which is where has been home for me and the company, and that's Expert Dojo. Brien, one of my favorite people on the planet, to be honest. He's been with us through this journey the whole time. we're a very, very proud partner of theirs.
And so right now, are you like taking time off uh, because of COVID? Because I would think that while it might not be snowing in the United States right now, on a place like South America or maybe Australia, if there is any places over there, they're starting to see snow. So I know it's a year-round business, and I know that your focus is mostly on the U.S. But are you currently operating right now during the COVID in any of the countries that are starting to get snow on the southern hemisphere?
We would have loved to have been operating both in Australia and New Zealand right now. Both of those countries still have significant restrictions on their borders. So it just has made it really difficult to operate in the Southern Hemisphere. And further to that, with tourism being still so impacted by COVID in that region, it's just made it, a difficult decision for us not to be operating in the Southern Hemisphere right now. That being said, what we are working on is a post-COVID relaunch. So our designers and engineers are absolutely at work on the apps so that we're addressing new consumer trends and new consumer behavior as we come now out of COVID. And we're anticipating a real boom. People are so excited to get outside. People are super excited to try new things, and skiing and snowboarding is just one of those really awesome opportunities, for people to get outside, and try something new, and really just experience, how nice it feels to be in places like Mammoth and places like Aspen and in those beautiful environments.
Now, if somebody wants to go ahead and sign up for a ski trip in February, which by then the restrictions should mostly be gone, they go to your website. Do you have an app? What do you got going on there for that, so people could go ahead and connect?
Sure. We have the website right now. We also, there will be, Go Snow app has been in the market for some time, so that's downloadable from the app stores. And we're also preparing the relaunch for the web app as well.
And what is the website address?
It's GoSnowPass.com.
Go Snow Path?
GoSnowPass, PASS.com.
Oh, pass. Okay. And people could, while this is downtime and while there is COVID going on, people can still book things for the coming winter, correct?
It will be a relaunch, so bookings will become available again in August.
In August, okay.
Yes.
And the team right now is basically working on software issues?
Well, right now, we see just a huge opportunity to help the casual family that's going to try skiing and snowboarding actually get into snow sports. So, a lot of the time, people here in LA, they want to try skiing or they want to go snowboarding, and the casual family that wants to go and try this has no idea what they need. Do they need long underwear? What do I need for the kids? All those types of things. So now as we're preparing to help consumers get outside and do more new things, we're enhancing our product to help specifically with that stuff, because the best thing to do is actually go and get all your gear and those types of things from local stores before you actually get up to the resort, because a lot of the time they'll drive up to Mammoth. It's a 7-hour drive with, 7-hour drive with the kids. And by the time they get there, they don't realize that, if they go to rent gear or those types of things at resort, that they're going to be waiting in lines for an hour and a half longer the next day to make all that happen. So what we're doing is we're helping people get what they need before they go, so that we elevate the entire experience, and then they want to spend more time on snow. They want to spend they want to spend more time skiing and snowboarding, as opposed to having an experience that just wasn't fun.
We're going to be right back. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
Who says nothing good happens after midnight? Denny's is best known for their breakfast served round the clock, like the Grand Slam. But you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner in a casual atmosphere 24/7. At Denny's, the lunch and dinner menu has a variety of appetizers, craveable burgers, salads, and entrees, along with the best desserts in town. Wherever you live in Santa Clarita, there's a Denny's close by. If you're pulling an all-nighter or don't feel like cooking, get into Denny's today. Good stuff is happening at Denny's.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
When you look at your child, you see so much. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. A little leader growing to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make the world better. At SCVI, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free TK through 12 charter school provides boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a learning program customized just for your child. Today, that means empowering your child to bring strengths and passions to the distance learning environment. Our approach keeps your child and family in step while online, inspiring your learner to keep growing without missing a beat. At SCVI, your child will find even more ways to grow with projects and activities in STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. With the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, SCVI produces graduates who excel at top universities and in life. For enrollment information or to learn more about our distance learning program, visit ileadsantaclarita.org. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years' experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Ask Brien Radio Show on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. And we have our co-host, Tracy. Tracy, are you there?
Boy, I sure have not missed that, just in case you're curious.
We knew you missed that, and we wanted to make sure that everybody could hear that, and we could drown out anyone in the waiting room or anywhere else that might have tried to attack us. So, without any further ado, and by the way, I forgot another E.
What's the E?
Well, this is kind of a solemn note, but on Sunday I had my mom's memorial, and I had to give a eulogy. Another E.
Bless your mom. She was a sweet angel. There is no doubt
Bless
in
her
my
heart.
mind that
Thank
She
you.
had to be
Bless your
able
heart,
to
too.
raise you. God,
That and a pitchfork, but okay.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, in the South we say bless her heart. So bless her heart and bless your heart too for losing her.
Yeah.
But now you
Thank
have
you.
a guardian angel, so she's still going to be looking after you, and hopefully all of us, because
Well,
we all need it.
That's a big job. Anyway, Tracy, you had some questions you want to ask Sean. I think it had to do something with the beginning of the company or something.
Well, every business has a beginning, and there's usually really good stories associated with beginnings of business stories. So will you share yours and how Go Snow got started?
Absolutely. So, after the 12 years in those enterprise software companies, those big corporate places, I actually, I was at a point where I wasn't feeling very well, like there was just some other call out there for me. And, so I started working with a meditation-based change coach to really tune into what my passions were and what my purpose was and what it was I wanted to get done here, in this lifetime. And we spent a lot of time. Together. She's actually no longer with us anymore. Her name was Justine Roszczek. She was in fact shot and killed by the Minneapolis police on the 15th of July of 2017. It made national and international news. But she was
terrible.
Yeah, she was an amazing person. Someone who is still my guardian angel, and I'm so blessed by that. But the work that we did together really helped me connect to purpose. And in that, I'd spent all those times in those software companies, so I knew how to apply software to an industry to solve a problem. I knew how to build software products and take them to market, and I knew how to get teams. I knew how to lead teams, how to build teams, and how to get everybody on board for a mission, to address an opportunity. And so in that, my mom had spent 10 years working for Aspen Skiing Company. My mom's an amazing lady. I love her to death. And, really beautiful lady. And, she'd spent all that time in Aspen. So I'd always been a snowboarder, and I just saw this huge problem in the industry, in the snow sports industry, where it was just impossible and so hard to organize a ski trip, So from there, I got a team of people together. The co-founder of the company is Scott Anfang, and Scott, Scott's been an excellent co-founder and business partner to me over the course of the company. And his background, he has been head coach snowboarding for the U.S. team, and represented the United States in snowboarding for at least 12 years, if not more now. And, so we were able to bring together, a team of people, with software skills, with snowboarding industry expertise, and, and start to really address this opportunity that we'd found. And the best thing about it was it was purpose-driven. It's purpose-driven. It was a team of people that got together, that shared the same vision, to make it easier for people to book and participate in snow sports, because we just love it. We just think that the more skiing and snowboarding in the world, the better. The more time people spend on snow doing healthy things, the better. And, our aim is just making all of that more accessible.
Wow. I mean, first of all, I'm sorry for the loss for such a special person in your life, but what a great opportunity to get guidance into a role now that just seems to fit you so well and kind of match your skill set with your passion together. And there's no better combination, especially for someone who is starting a business and running a business, because as we know, that's not always the easiest path. Crazy people like us, all of entrepreneurs will pick that path, but it's definitely not the easiest path sometimes. So That's amazing. So you were talking a bit about your skill set in building a team. Can you tell us about your current team and maybe some of the roles that they play in helping you grow the company?
Absolutely. So, the thing with building teams, the most important thing with a startup is, having people with you that share your vision. Having people with you that are on board, that are on board for a mission, to really build something great and to do something great. The first thing that we did, Scott and I, that is, when we started the company, was we realized we were going to need engineers. So fortunately, I knew who to call for that. My past colleagues from Mercury Interactive have been unreal. A few of them even invested in the company. But that was our first phone call. We need engineers. So we initially brought on our engineering team to build the mobile product. And then from there, my skill set had been in, my own skill set. So as a founding CEO of an early stage company, it's, one of the things that, that I think super important, is signing customers and having people that are able to get that traction you need in the market. And I had been doing that for so long, an entire career, I had an entire career in sales where I think over the 12 years in those three software companies, I would have achieved, more than $48 million in net product bookings during that time. And, so, being able to, myself bring on, and lead the sales effort, that was super helpful. And then the next thing we were going to start needing was people who really understood marketing from a consumer perspective, so that we would sign on, so that we would actually build on or bring on the consumers that would use the product to book. And so that was, for us, it was just looking at bringing on engineers to build the product, then bringing on sales and marketing people to build a business. We then brought on all of our investors. All of our investors were highly skilled with, a lot of startup experience, a lot of technology experience. So a few of our investors also became our active advisory board. As well, and that was super important, as one of those people had been worldwide senior vice president of products and engineering at CA Technologies. So we had a super strong tech capability, and still have that within the company. And so in terms of building teams, for us it was a matter of getting a group of people who are highly skilled to not only build a product but build a business, and bringing all that together and ensuring that there was shared vision, shared mission, and commitment from everyone to get out there and make this happen no matter what. And last year I think we saw no matter what in the form of COVID.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. One of the things that you mentioned was the fact that you were in a building phase right now as a result of COVID with a new relaunch. Can you tell us about the marketing strategy behind that to the degree that you can share? And then also talk to us about the target consumer, the person who's going to be on the other end of that launch, and who you're trying to reach, and what type of customer is your ideal target.
And you have 30 seconds.
Sure.
Go ahead. I'm teasing you.
That's not fair. That is not fair.
I have one more question to add, and that was the difference between enterprise sales, which is you've got a whole big bunch of people behind you, and it's a certain type of sale, versus you're at a startup and nobody knows who you are, yes, you can leverage some things more so in a big company than you can in a startup. So that's the third question. So go ahead. You're on the clock.
Okay, here we go. So we recently got some excellent advice from one of my favorite CMOs on the planet. His name is Christopher Lockhead. He was the CMO at Mercury Interactive. I love Chris. He's been super supportive of Go Snow and of me, and I really appreciate him. And part of the advice given there was, shift the business model now in a post-COVID, in a post-COVID world to direct to consumer. So our efforts are changing so that we're targeting consumers directly. And what we're aiming to do is create a huge amount of value for the casual skier or snowboarder, for the person who wants to try skiing and snowboarding out, and help them get into something new and help them have the best possible experience when they first go skiing and snowboarding, so that they continue skiing and snowboarding, and we achieve our aim of increasing participation, our goal of increasing participation in the industry. And how we're doing that is we have partnerships in place with leading brands. We have partnership agreements in place with the biggest mountain companies in the world. We have partnership agreements in place with the biggest snowboard companies in the world. And we'd like to do a lot through partnership, whereby joint marketing initiatives and joint growth initiatives with those partners. Now, I know I missed a question there. I spoke mostly to the marketing piece.
Well, that's okay. It was the enterprise sales piece that was question was thrown into you at the last minute.
Yes, and I'd like to just give that 10 seconds, if I may. Yes, super, important. Like if you're an enterprise sales guy, as I was, and then you get into a startup environment, it's actually two different salespeople. And you've really got to do the heavy lifting, and be good at just picking up the phone, making things happen, getting in front of the right people, and that I believe is a lot to do with being purpose driven. People can sense, when someone's calling them, people can feel this person, what they're creating. It's really from a place of truth and really from a place of purpose. And I think that helps. When all you've got is a phone and a piece of paper, and you're calling with no brand behind you. And I've had both experiences. You're calling with no brand behind you to pitch a new concept into an industry, and make a huge change.
So we have 1 minute left. Tracy, you want to ask a question that he can answer within the next 60 seconds?
Well, I was just going to follow up really more with the fact that I think every entrepreneur underestimates the importance of business development in their startup. And I think what you're sharing is important because you already went into this startup with a very strong business development background, and that served you well. So when we come back, I absolutely want to talk more about how you use that skill set to raise $20 million in funding, because that's extremely impressive.
That was a secret, but thanks for telling everybody. Go ahead.
It's out now. I don't think it was that big of a secret because I read the press about it. So that's how I found out. I think we're good. And congratulations are definitely in order. We can't wait to hear more about it.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're coming right back. KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
This is my town. This is my town.
This is my town.
This is our town. Hey, Santa Clarita, this is our town, and we're protecting our home and environment by recycling bottles and cans. It makes a difference. Here and here. Take your bottles and cans to a redemption center or toss them in your recycling bin. Visit greensantaclarita.com for more information. This message is from Cal Recycling, the City of Santa Clarita.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 98.1 FM, and the girl did not do it right. We're at no other station in the world. All right. And we have our guest.
This girl didn't do it right. What are you talking about?
Well, because she didn't say like no other station in the world like you're supposed to say it.
They can't hear the
All right, well,
ads.
we have a little extra time, so we have our guest, Sean.
Yes. Stoked to
Billy?
be here today.
Yes, excited. And we're
Okay,
excited
I
to
have
you.
something to clarify. First of all, coming from the media, I love the media. I am the media. But this headline was a little tricky, people. It says, Go Snow secures Silicon Valley funding with a $20 million goal. Okay, that's fine. Having a $20 million goal is great, and securing funding is great. So let's talk about how you secured funding to achieve your $20 million goal.
And don't forget about Riff.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about Riff. Reading is fundamental. Go ahead.
Okay,
And that
you're
was
just
an
on a roll today. Just on a roll.
Go ahead.
And that was an amazing piece of press coverage we got. You know, the media had taken a strong interest in Go Snow from the get-go. You know, I think we got you know, a few $1 million in free press just for doing something cool in the industry, and you know, that piece of PR. You know, absolutely helped us propel forward and sign on, you know, what became more resort partnerships. And our initial funding came from you know, execs that I had previously worked with in the software companies. So you know, people that had known me for a long time. You know, but software guys, they were software guys or, you know, investors. A lot of the time the software guys, you know, are doing, you know, are investing in other tech startups. But these guys specifically, you know, they love skiing and snowboarding, and they could just see how by applying software to this industry, we could make it easier for people to book and participate in snow sports. And then
that is a really aggressive goal. Yeah, I was going to say $20 million in business within 18 months, and that's a very aggressive goal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely, hugely aggressive goal, and I think that, you know, in that too, you know, it was right at a time where we were, you know, where we were set up for rapid growth. You know, it was a $20 million bookings goal. That we had, and you know, in Go Snow, people spend a lot of money on snow sports. You know, it's a $40 billion addressable market here in the United States. You know, and in our products, you know, we would do, you know, through our mobile app, people would spend, you know, $3,000, $5,000. You know, by the time they've you know, bought a couple of lift passes for themselves and, you know, and their family members. They've then added an instructor or a guide for a couple of days, and any other add-ons, the baskets that we would have, through the product were huge, and also just being in such a big addressable market, where people are spending a lot of money on skiing and snowboarding.
So where are you going with, do you have plans to align with multiple strategic partnerships as part of your growth strategy? And what's another area to take you from where you are now to the next level?
Sure. So we already have partnerships in place with some of the biggest mountain companies in the world. We partner, we partner with the leading snowboard companies. We partner with other leading gear manufacturers, and for us right now, what our focus is working with major destination resorts here in the United States. So our effort post-COVID will be mostly geared towards destination ski resort partnerships. And so while we have the product being enhanced in the background now and preparing us for what we're expecting to be a post-COVID boom, where people are just super excited to get outside. This past year, people have put on weight, they've been locked up. It's time for everyone to get outside, and we're preparing for that. And the other initiative that is being worked on significantly is just ensuring that we've got the ski resort partnerships in place, so that we really propel and accelerate the company forward. With some good wind, I'll add, as that's what we're expecting now. Really a perfect storm, as people are going to be super excited, to be doing new things, now into the summer and absolutely into the fall and winter.
If someone was in a situation where they were really entrenched in their corporate career, but was having the same types of yearning and calling that you had to do something different and make that leap into starting their own business, what advice would you give to them?
In about 10 seconds, you got.
I would absolutely say make sure it is your 150 billion% purpose, and make sure you spent some time with someone who can help you define that. I worked with Justine, and before doing so, because that purpose and that mission is what's going to pull you through things like COVID or any other tough time for that matter.
Well, thank you very much. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show with Go Snow.
Thanks so much for having me.